look inside Lambeau Field in Green Bay, Wisconsin. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Detroit Lions and the Green Bay Packers. Along with Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And, Charles, we look at this Packer team as we enter play here. Now, losers their last time out, so they'll look to make amends here.
And one of the best ways you can do that is to be at home, and they are. They're going to try and ride that home crowd and that wave of emotion to a victory in this one.
Meanwhile, for the Lions here, they too were losers last week, so they're also hoping to get back in the win column.
Something's got to give in this one, right? Both teams want to start a new streak, and they both want it to be a victory. This should be a fun one.
Two 1-1 teams here, each looking to move over 500, and we're underway here in Week 3. This fielded at the 2. And he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. So here comes the Packers offense now onto the field. They'll be led out by their highly decorated quarterback, Aaron Rodgers.
And I'll bet right now just one thought in his mind.
Win the game. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. He played pretty well. I mean, he didn't turn over the ball in terms of interceptions,
no,
right?
2 touchdown passes last week.
2 touchdown passes, but when your team doesn't win, that's just hollow. And the best quarterbacks don't care about anything but whether or not their team won.
Rodgers now on first down. He finds Randall Cobb with a completion. An ideal beginning of the drive there as they'll get 20 and a first down.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
And under the Lions' pressure, he's brought down. And, Charles, part of the reason they lost last week, they didn't have a single sack. Well, they changed that quickly.
But did they ever? There was something they talked about with us extensively. They needed to get pressure. How were they going to get to the quarterback? Obviously, they schemed themselves into a great play, didn't they?
So an early wake-up call there leads to a quick 2nd and long. Shotgun now for Rodgers. And this one complete to Seth Roberts. And he'll go down right around the 47 this time. They get 11 back on that one. It leads to 3rd down.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. But slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
And on 3rd down, a nickel formation here defensively.
319.
Now Rodgers. And Rodgers is going to go down. He's sacked.
One thing that I liked about this guy during the draft process was his motor. Of course, I loved his skills, but he plays hard on every down.
And that motor on full display there as he gets his first NFL sack. On 4th down, J.K. Scott ready to punt it away. He steps into this one, and this is a rocket. So here are the Lions now coming out for their opening drive. And leading them out there, we get a look at their 6'3" quarterback.
And what I enjoyed watching this week when we had a chance to watch them at practice, the easy camaraderie that he has with his offense.
A lot of respect.
A lot of respect, and frankly, I thought it spilled over to the defense. The defensive guys were coming over and teasing and joking with him. You can tell they respect the heck out of him and really want to play well for him.
They'll come out throwing here on 1st down. Quick throw that's complete on the inside slant. The numbers for him from a week ago: 7 catches, 116 yards.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say that he's off to a hot start here in this first month, and those are the kind of performances you expect to see going forward.
Now a play fake here on first down. Almost able to intercept it. That's one he would have liked to have held on to on his first drive. Instead, second down. And the Buffet boys, the O-line, hopefully they're ready today.
Listen, you got to feed them first. But if you do, you usually get a great product out on the field. And when they play well, the quarterback can't wait to feed them afterwards.
Line of scrimmage, the 31, as they line up, 2nd and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be limited to a short gain up to about the 34-yard line. Kenny Clark, the big D tackle there to make the stop. Time to look at the defensive starters for Green Bay. They've certainly had their struggles against the run at the 30th ranked unit out of 32 teams in the NFL.
I always think back to what my defensive coordinator in college used to tell me. Playing against the run is 11 individual battles, man on man. And are you going to win that battle? You're going to whip the guy across from you and get to the ball carrier, wrap him up, and put him on the ground. Because the one thing he absolutely detested was yards after contact. Tackle him, put him down on the spot.
Throws a quick hitter on the slant. That's complete. They get 7 there, but it brings up 4th.
Well, we hear so often how tackling has become almost a lost art in the NFL game. But it's so important to tackle well on these receivers, especially in a play like this one. 3rd down, they gave him the underneath stuff. You got to go up and make the tackle right away.
Here we go with Johnson. And he's got the first down yardage before he's brought down at the 42. They only needed a few inches, but still some anxious moments there, but they do convert on 4th.
If he indeed got it, he didn't get it by much. This is a great push up front, but I think the nose of the football does make it over the line to gain. And whoa, that was definitely cutting it close.
They go play action here on first down. And this one is incomplete. And this is a guy straight out of college. They're not going to try to groom for a year or two. They want him to produce right away.
That's why they took him in the first round. They expect him to be a starter right away and a future all-pro. So they don't have any time to wait for him to come along. They want him to play right now to help this team.
And you take a look at this draft class from the season ago. Really, it grades out as a pretty darn good class.
So you have to give a lot of credit to the entire scouting organization. General manager, personnel department, college scouts, all came together. They evaluated it very well and got a nice payoff.
He'll look to throw. He rifles one that's intercepted. Kevin King with a pick. And he'll return this ball across midfield to the 47-yard line. It's almost like you can see the look of frustration on his face. 4 interceptions last week. We talked about it all week. What did he do wrong? And another one here in the first half.
And you can understand the frustration. You actually feel his pain a little bit. But the worst thing he can do is what you're seeing right now, showing the other team that he's frustrated. All they're going to do is double their efforts to make him even more frustrated. He's got to gather himself, compose himself, and keep fighting.
Well, he talked a lot about erasing that loss last week, getting back in the win column. We'll see how he responds. On second down, it's Jones. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. Call it no gain there, and it brings forth a 3rd and long.
All right, quick observation, Brandon, because early on in this game, I'm seeing linebackers playing with their noses close to the line of scrimmage.
And my guess is the wheels are turning on that other sideline. As a play caller, you're filing that away right now, aren't you?
Yeah, you're trying to find that opportunity later on when you can play action them or stick something to them between the 2nd and the 3rd level.
So we've reached the end of a fairly even first quarter of play. 0-0 our score. EA Sports NFL Sunday returns following this.
The NFL on EA Sports is fueled by Gatorade, the sports fuel company.
With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Second quarter about to get underway with the Packers in possession of the football. first down carry by Jones. And he'll be dropped at the 23 after a pickup of about 4.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable second down. A very solid gain on that play.
Now Rodgers throwing on second down. He sets up the screen to Jones. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8.
They ran that one well, and not only did they pick up a nice chunk of yardage on the screen, they sent a message to the defense. Rush the passer all you want, but you better be careful. We can hit you going back the other direction.
Now Jones. And he'll take this from the 9 down to about the 7. Defensively, pretty good start there with their backs against the wall.
That's a win for the stop troops right there. And if I'm them, I get a little bolder now. They won the first battle. Keep coming after them. Put the pressure on them.
To throw is Rodgers. And it's caught. And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. 5 yards that time on the completion. And now it's 3rd and goal.
And, partner, I think that was a great example that not all tight ends are created equal. Because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though
and he's got it. It's caught for a Packers touchdown. Seth Roberts, his first touchdown of the new season. And the Packers are able to cash in for 6.
Boy, that route is really tough to cover because if they're running it correctly, you think it's really going to be a slant.
Yeah, well, we talk all the time about how it's tough to execute offensively, but you're saying, don't forget, it's tough to cover for the defense, too.
Yeah, the number one thing that you're taught is to not get caught inside or get beat inside. So you guard that a little bit more. So that gives you a little bit more space to operate outside if you start your move initially inside if you're a receiver.
Tavecchio good on the extra point, and that makes the score 7-0. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This one taken just inside the 10. The Lions offense, they get ready to head back onto the field. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here. He'll drop to throw. And the Packers give him nowhere to go, and they bring him down. Muhammad Wilkerson in there to bring him down for a loss of 7.
Sometimes I watch games and wonder why they use play fakes on certain passing situations because it's not going to fool anyone. I don't know if that was the case here, but the end result was the same. No one fooled. The quarterback was hit.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Incomplete. He had his hands on it but couldn't pick it. But it's now 4th down.
Well, nearly another interception there. That would have been 2 drives in a row with a pick. He's got to start taking care of the ball way better than what we're saying. Interestingly,
that throw was probably worse than the one he threw the interception on last drive, but fell incomplete. And a bit of a mistake there. This is well into the end zone for a touchback. The Packers offense now, they get ready to head back onto the field. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
And he finds some space past the 25 to the 27. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3. Operating from the 27 now. Here's 2nd and 3. Rodgers with a give. It's Aaron Jones. And they take him down, losing yardage back at the 27. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up third down.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. And what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
He's got his target. It's Cobb. Touchdown, Packers. Randall Cobb, his second touchdown on the season. And the Packers add 6 to their lead. Vecchio to add the PAT. Extra point up and good by Tavecchio. And it's now 14-0. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. Jamal Agnew now to return it. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. And Detroit getting set to go now. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. No gain on the play there. Second down.
No gain on that run, and while this team is down, they're not out of it by any stretch of the imagination. Maybe you just have to think about different style of running in order to get this guy going.
Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. Throw left side is complete to Rodgers. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. 23 yards on the play.
Thus far, it hasn't been a real fun half for them, but a play like that may get them off the schneid a little bit, get them loosened up and moving.
Kind of seems like they've been sleepwalking and still sitting on 0 points.
And it's not always making an adjustment. Sometimes it's just going back to what you know can...
For a heavy rush, and down he goes. Clay Matthews coming hard on the blitz. He dumps him for a loss of 8.
Well, someone's been up to the task so far in this game. They are already up a couple of scores, Brandon, and guess what? I think they're just going to pin their ears back now and get upfield and get after the quarterback.
Been such an impressive first half to get that lead.
Here we go!
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll take this one up close to about the 45. And they only get a yard back there. They'll be left with a 3rd down and long.
And this is why aggressive defensive coordinators love to blitz. It wreaks havoc because they end up taking their attention to the blitzers, freed up the D lineman to make the play.
Back to throw here. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
And our focus now moves to Randall Cobb. He's up over 100 yards, has the touchdown. He's a big-time receiver in this league, so the question becomes, how do you limit him going forward?
Well, you know the guys trying to cover him, they haven't had a whole lot of success thus far, and while they will still accept the challenge, maybe you have to change your focus. You have to get after the quarterback a little bit, disrupt his timing. Because right now it feels like pitch and catch. Make sure he's not able to have clear sight lines to him, and maybe that'll slow him down.
And this is not the guy you want to let play pitch and catch. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down. The rush defense stout on first down. Here's 2nd and 10 from the 20. So we have come to halftime, and what's all... And we will skip the highlight show this week. Get right back to this Week 3 matchup. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Lions offense now with a football first here to begin quarter number 3. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working, and call more of that.
And they start the second half with Johnson. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. Call it a gain of 4 on first, and that'll make it 2nd down. Despite the scoreline, I think they've got to like where they are here. They're on the road and just one big play away from getting right back in this game.
I'm going to follow right along with you because the spot they're in now is a credit to their defense.
Now that'll be tipped and intercepted. Kevin King with a pick, and this one will be returned to right around the 38-yard line. Just a little bit of a rough stretch. 6 interceptions now in these last 2 weeks combined.
I know the easy thing is to go back to mechanics, footwork, things of that nature. I'm also wondering, is he getting fooled by what he's seeing on defense? Has the scouting report changed? Are they showing him things different than what he expected? For the 2nd week in a row, he's throwing it to the guys in the wrong color shirts.
Yeah, he better figure, whatever the reason is, he better figure it out. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. They'll try and get the running game going with Jones. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
On 2nd down, here's Rodgers. Over the middle, that's caught by Adams. And they'll be inside the 35 now at the 34-yard line. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down.
It's a game of matchups, and that's why you take your receivers and move them around a bunch, especially your best guys. And when they work out of the slot, you often hear the coaches talk about how great it is because it gives you a two-way go. You can break out or you can break in. That makes it hard to defend.
And inside the 20 before he's brought down. And that one good for 16 yards and a 1st. Rodgers will bring him up to the line, 1st and 10. And he's hit on his first 9 passes now in the ball game. Rodgers going to throw. That's going to be caught at the 10-yard line. And the ball is knocked out, and the Lions have recovered. Often on fumbles, you look at the guy who coughed it up and say, geez, what did he do? But, hey, let's tip the cap to the defense here.
Not a problem at all, my man. I'm not even going to tip it. I'm going to doff my cap to him. Congratulations, big-time play. Knocking it free and creating something good for your team.
And Detroit getting set to go now. Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. Oh, nearly a disaster there on the check down. But they'll get it back.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, and as it turned out, couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It was way too tight. Unable to find anyone open.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. Now a handoff. Johnson extending the arm.
Oh, yes, it works.
And brought down, but not before reaching the 25. He got 18 yards out of that one, and it gets him a new set of downs.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice, because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him.
Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it. Throwing the slant pattern here, complete. And up to the 35 before they're able to knock him down. They get 10 more there, and I believe that'll be enough for another first down. It will.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route, and then breaks it up, usually up to about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and get the quarterback a really nice target. You know what really fires up offensive linemen? When the guy that is carrying the ball behind them can create his own space and break a tackle along the way.
Let's go!
Looking to throw. And that is incomplete. Boy, the numbers throwing the football just not trending in the right direction. Last week he was under 50%. He's under 50% again here.
And we haven't gotten an announcement, but it appears to me that he might be a little dinged up and is just trying to play through. You know, he's one of those tough guys that wants to answer the bell each and every play for his team. That might be throwing off his accuracy.
Back to throw. And it falls incomplete after almost being intercepted. A pick there would have been great. The good news for the defense now, it's fourth down. Another drive comes and goes. Still nothing on the scoreboard.
Yeah, and when the second half comes, you know, it's real easy to get discouraged and wonder if you're ever going to get things started. You just got to fight through it. Got to keep pounding away.
The Packers offense now heading back out onto the field. This is sort of what you would call a put-away drive, isn't it? They score here, especially a touchdown. It's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels that way, and I think that they're going to call their plays accordingly, because what you really want to do, even though you know the scoreboard is still up there and the game's going to go on, in fact, you can take the spirit away from another team, that their drive and will to come back and win can be taken with another score right here.
Still third quarter, but you just get that feel.
Yeah, they're teetering right there on the brink, aren't they? We just saw him hit a big play there on a deep post, and most of the time, the post isn't available because usually you have defenders in the middle of the field. But if you throw enough curls and crossing routes and underneath routes, I know from experience, they get tired of watching those balls get caught. They start to creep up a little bit, and that's when you can hit them big over the top.
Rodgers to throw on second down. And this is caught at the 8. And finally down he goes as they work it inside the 10 to the 7. Give him 30 yards there.
You know I'm going to lean towards the defender, right? You know I'm going to do that.
I know.
That's a tough situation for him as I see it. But the truth of the matter is, that ball was not streaking towards him. That little arc on it, he's got to find a way to get his head around.
And he's going to go down. Sacked right around the 17. Christian Jones in there to make the sack. He buries him for a loss of 10.
Well, there's still time to rectify this situation because the silver lining, they took a sack on first and goal. But that close to the goal line, that still definitely hurts.
And they're not going to get to the line to run another play. So we will switch ends as the third quarter has come to a close. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now at Lambeau. It's Packer football here as they've got the lead as well to begin the fourth quarter. Now following the sack, they'll look to make amends on a second down and 17. They get it to him running left. And here he'll get it down to the 7. That one good for 10 yards. And that'll make it third and goal.
Partner, I know we're in a goal-to-go situation, but my goodness, think about running the ball here. not even a thought, is it?
Defensively, they're in a prime spot.
And I think the defensive guys are probably expressing themselves to them as well. I wouldn't run it here, guys. You might want to try throwing it.
Well, they've been so good on third down all day long. Can they convert another here on 3rd and goal? From the gun, it's Rodgers. Touchdown, Packers! Seth Roberts, his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. And the Packers add on to their lead. They were still throwing with a comfortable lead here late, and now that lead even more comfortable.
And your first thought is there bad blood that went into this one ahead of time, that maybe they're seeking some revenge or they just don't like them? But the other thing that always hits me is, are they worried about playoff positioning? Right? Are they worried about, do you need enough points in case there's a tiebreaker that comes into play later?
After review of the play, the line on the field is reversed.
Now Giorgio Tavecchio for the field goal try. This to make it a 3-score game late. Tavecchio puts this one through. And the lead will grow. It's now 17-0. So with that, you figure this game's pretty much out of reach at this point.
Yeah, it's going to take a heck of a comeback to come from 3 scores down, but don't change that channel. Don't go away. Miracles can happen, and you want to be here in case it does.
You're the company man.
Aren't I, bro?
And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. And Detroit getting set to go now. And down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football.
Come on, let's go!
Sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know the score. They know the situation. And by the way, the punter no longer exists for their offense. That's how they have to treat this drive.
They need points.
Big time.
Now after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. While the training staff works on him, we'll step aside and be right back. So 2nd and inches after that first down completion went just shy of the marker. They'll hand it off now. Johnson. And he'll get up to the 43-yard line. Give him 3 yards and a fresh set of downs.
2nd and inches is oftentimes an invitation for an offense coordinator to take a big shot downfield because he feels like he can come back on 3rd down and pick up the first down. But sometimes you just don't want to break tendency. Stay with what you are, stay with who you know, and go get the first down. That's exactly what they did.
Now he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. 23 yards on the play.
It certainly feels like there are more stars at the tight end position than there were even 10 years ago. And I think it's become more of a glamour position because of the ways it can hurt a defense, and guys want to be involved. They can be in line, close to the line of scrimmage. They can split out like receivers. But hands, route running, speed, and some toughness to go across the middle, you put it all together, you got a heck of a tight end candidate.
From the 34, they'll come to the line on 2nd and 10.
Come on, let's go! Brad 38! Brad 38!
Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. And incomplete on the deep ball. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden the secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
They'll look to throw here. And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off by Blake Martinez. 30. Past the 20. 10. And into the end zone. It's a pick 6 and a Packer touchdown. that's the story of the game. They've been suffocating all game long on defense. They were suffocating there again in a big way.
And they've done it not just by out-athleting them, which is often the case, but by being able to adjust to anything they tried to throw at them and beating them to the punch each and every time. This was a defense that was well prepared.
The lefty Tavecchio now to add the extra point. Tavecchio good on the extra point, and the lead is now 24. So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. This will be fielded at the 8. And he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. And Detroit getting set to go now. And last time, decent field position through the pick six. Obviously costly.
But they can't afford to just bunker in now. All right, good field position means go ahead and attack on offense. Try and press the advantage a little bit. They just have to be better with the football on this possession.
So the last one didn't bother you too much last time?
No, because it's exactly what you're supposed to do. You can't have good field position, not try to take advantage of it. Sometimes the defense makes a good play, too. We'll definitely see some open running lanes, and he's taking advantage of it right now, but that shouldn't be a surprise. Defense has the lead. They're playing for the pass first.
They'll drop the throw. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Powell. And he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. That one goes for 24 yards.
Nice game there, partner, but you and I both know that won't do anything for the final score. They're not going to win this one. Right now, they're playing for pride and fantasy points.
And just to erase that goose egg, nobody wants to be shut out. This will be caught inside the 10. And they will eventually get him down, but he's inside the 5 all the way to the 3. He got 29 yards that time. 2 big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit him, but now they got to get ready. It's 1st and goal. He'll look to throw. He's got his man. It's caught for a Lion touchdown. As his guys are in for 6. And the Lions are able to cut into this lead. Again, he'll drop to throw. Blitz coming, and down he goes. So tried to throw it in for 2 points, but the D got home, brought him down.
Yeah, got home, which means there had to be good coverage. Just had nowhere to go with the ball. Typically, you try and throw quick hitters, quick slants, maybe even a quick fade. Nothing was open. He ends up getting sacked.
And Green Bay getting ready to go as they take the field. They have the big lead here late. They protected their home turf well, didn't they?
They certainly did, partner. And just think about how good that feels, because every team has a goal when they start the year to win at home. All right, and sometimes you don't win all of them, but they managed to get that done today. Just think about your routine stays the same. Everything's familiar. You feel right going into the game, and they translated that into a win.
They did indeed. They protected the home field, and now the final stages. They'll come up now 2nd and 4 from the 31. They stay on the ground. This time it's Williams. And he stopped immediately there. They'll say no gain on the play there, and now it'll be 3rd down.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority, because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
The Packers on 3rd down. They've been near perfect, 4 for 5 to this point. This will be 3rd and 5. Again, it's Williams. And not much of an opening there, as he's only going to get this to about the 32. Just a 1-yard pickup there, and it'll be 4th down.
Well, this was just simply excellent defense. On this 3rd down, they had to be alert for the possibility of a pass, but that didn't stop them at all from understanding what was going on when they decided to run the football, and they just swarmed and stuffed them for almost no gain.
Here's J.K. Scott now, as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. That's taken on the 25. A nice job on the return there, 16 yards. And the Lions will take over. The fourth down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on first down.
Let's go.
They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And he couldn't hang on. Would have been their fourth pick of the game. Instead, second down.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, fourth quarter. Maybe you can expect more passes like that downfield. Here now is 2nd and 10, again from the 41. The play-action fake. They'll look to throw. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up third down.
Try and get it all back with one big shot right there, but even if successful, that doesn't get them all the way back to where they need to be. Can't totally abandon throwing the ball underneath as well.
They'll look to throw. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back. Complete. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. And one of the whistles for a timeout. So they'll stop the clock here in a game that's been decided in the closing seconds. They'll set up to throw. He's going to let it fly. And he couldn't hang on. Would have been their fourth pick of the game. Instead, second down.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have back
pressure, and he's going to be taken down. They sack him back right around the 44. And, Charles, you know what coaches always tell us. We want to win our home games. That much we know. We want to protect our home turf. They got that done in this one.
Exactly right. When you start a season, everyone's goal, win all of your home games, split your road games, and you're likely going to be in the playoffs. But when you win at home, boy, what a great feeling that is. You don't even mind if people are at your house when you get home after a win like that.
So for the Packers, they get back in the win column as they move to 2-1 now on the year. And they'll be able to enjoy this one through the bye week before they get back at it again. Meanwhile, for the Lions, they'll fall to 1-2. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves next week at home against San Francisco.